What happened to the UK office lunchtime drink? When I started work in the early 1980s, I was introduced to the big lunchtime drinking culture that existed in offices. This culture persisted until well into the 1990s, but slowly but surely dropped to the point where today it would be largely unacceptable to drink alcohol at lunchtimes and then go back to the office. In the 1980s and 1990s, it would be quite common for there to be a group going down the pub lunchtimes and having at times lengthy lunch breaks and several drinks before going back into work. The culture typically was set by senior management who will be in the pub with you. An interesting statistic that seems to shadow the demise of lunchtime drinking is the number of companies which are British owned. 95% of companies in the UK and London in the 1980s were British owned. This has dropped to less than 50% today and probably even lower in London. This may have something to do with what is acceptable behaviour. Whilst European countries do have a drinking culture, the USA does not. America has always had a strained relationship with alcohol, which probably goes back to Prohibition days and the deep-rooted Christianity that runs through the heart of the United States psyche. I remember the first time I worked for an American-owned company. You could feel the difference in expectation around what was acceptable in the office. Another factor which had a large bearing on the culture, I believe, was the youth's attitude to alcohol and drugs. From the late 1990s onwards, I think it became more the norm to separate alcohol from work, to party of a night time and indulge in whatever poison you preferred, and get your head down and work during the day. Additionally, focus on health, well-being and health and safety in the workplace has driven companies to introduce strict new drinking policies to reinforce their commitment to their people's well-being and productivity levels. Today, the UK is a multicultural and diverse workforce, and many religions do not permit alcohol consumption, so again, this is another step away from what was a British pastime. There are still people who enjoy a drink during lunchtime at work, but these are now very much the minority and a dying breed. Large corporations will no longer tolerate this type of behaviour, quite right too. I look back at how life was then, and whilst I was young and enjoyed my time, it's hard to justify that behaviour now. I can now see how unprofessional it was, and I'm amazed how the senior management's behaviour encouraged it. Whilst average alcohol consumption has dropped from 11.6 litres of pure alcohol in the late 1990s to 9.9 litres in 2023, lunchtime alcohol in the City of London would have plummeted considerably during this period. I think there is still a place for alcohol in business as a celebratory award for hard work or success at the end of a working day, but as the saying goes, anything in moderation.